take this forward. And to viewers, one of the things is nobody is calling the Congress party wrong, etc. But the larger aspect of whether it was, myopic in the past, that these historical mistakes are something that we as current generation and Bharat today is continuing to pay the price of. Some historical issues, people like Nishikant Dubey have been putting out document after document as the archives are being declassified about what Congress leaders' position was. General Vij, who I was speaking with, he said that the Bharat of the 90s and the 70s is different from the Bharat of 2025 because this Bharat is the fourth largest economy. It's a stronger nation. It can take its own position and say, in the past it used to succumb to pressure or global pressures that would come. Now, would you say that it's a process of evolution of a nation that you would come under pressure, nations would come under pressure? Or would you say that there was not a collective national security doctrine or something that would outline what Bharat needed to do? When there were others who said that Bharat is going to have certain issues with China, there are going to be issues with Pakistan, and also we need to keep a close eye on Bangladesh. Was the leadership of that day not cognizant of this? Were they being myopic?
I think more than myopic, they were being sentimental. They had romanticized relationships between various countries. And that's the conversation we were having in the newsroom just about 3 hours back, Anand, where we were talking about these issues and we were trying to decode why we messed up. Like, let's, for example, look at the UNSC blunder. Now, you were being offered. Now, I know there is no express offer on the table, but then Prime Minister Nehru wrote to all the chief ministers to say that, look, there has been an informal offer for us to be the permanent members of the United Nations Security Council.
Right.
But I'm turning it down because the first right, being the larger, greater country, is for China. Now, at that time, Mr. Nehru had been carried away by this India, China, bhai bhai, Chini, bhai bhai, bilateralism, as some people have called it, right? And he was so carried down the river, so romanticized this whole business of, we are non-aligned and all the Bandung summit and everything. All of that didn't make him myopic. It made him lose sight of the facts. And you're right. Had there been, or maybe there were, look, we can't be unfair on certain people who might have been part of his own either cabinet or the bureaucracy that must have said, hang on, just pull back a little bit, your romantic pink rose.
See, I'll tell you what, Rahul, if there are errors that have been made in the past, then those errors must be accepted. It was his own daughter, Indira Gandhi, who pushed forth with this entire aspect agenda. She was made to wait in the US by the US president at that time, but she made the world sit up and take notice of Bharat. She didn't succumb to pressure. She ensured Pakistan was split. There was Bangladesh that was liberated and born. But then what happened after that? So successive leaders, did they fulfill an objective and forget the long-term goal? Why is it that the Chinese followed, or the CCP continues to follow the doctrine laid down by Mao Zedong in 1949, and they continue to do it? They want to achieve it by 2049, maybe advance it a few years, but that's what and every leader, one after the other, has done what is required to be able to get to that blueprint or to implement that blueprint. Bharat doesn't have a vision like that, despite the fact that across the political spectrum, from a Vinayak Damodar Savarkar there to a Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose to a Baba Saheb Bhimrao Ramji Ambedkar to a Sardar Patel, across saddling the entire political spectrum, they said, and they have repeatedly said between 1935 and 1945, that China is the biggest enemy, and we need to draw the borders clearly. We need to see that Pakistan is brought to right. So then how is it that you can say that, Mr. Nehru lost sight?
Because I'll tell you, the way the Congress party has behaved when it has been in power has been like a supplicant in the court of the Gandhis. The entire Congress system, whether it's government, etc., supplicated at the feet of the Prime Minister, which inevitably a Nehru Gandhi. And their word mattered. That's all. You remember there was a huge controversy when a top leader came out and said, if you remember George Fernandez, that China was India's enemy number one. Who shouted him down the most? To the Congress system.
Now we got one.